All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. First up, we have the adoption of the minutes from January 13th.
I make a motion, we adopt those minutes.
I'll second, all those in favor, aye. And that we have the workshop minutes from January 20th.
Make a motion, we accept the workshop minutes from January 20th.
All right, I will second that. All those in favor, aye. Charles is delayed. so
Yeah,
we'll-
he's behind an accident right now,
Oh,
and you
no.
said,
Right up here.
is that where it is?
I said, what's the accident right up here, Mike?
No, that's the fire guys out shelving hydrants.
Oh, okay.
Matt, Tom, and some young fella, I don't know.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really nice. Thank you, Woodstock Fire Department, for helping out.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you wanna skip over my?
Yeah, we'll skip
Okay.
over,
yeah.
yeah, that's fine, and then when he gets here, we can circle back.
Mhm.
So, draft warrant is next.
That part, okay. You gotta go through them one by one? Oh.
What's just a note, Judy was mentioning that, Gil. Selectman Rand has reviewed both the draft warrant and the MS 37 and given her any comments or thoughts that he had,
Okay,
but unfortunately, you couldn't make it tonight due to cataract surgery on his other eye.
That's true.
Now he's seeing straight with both.
That's right.
So. Yeah, so Article 1's traditional article with the town officers, Article 2 is the lead and copper improvements.
That's to borrow, it gives us permission to borrow another $1 million if we need it. And if we use. It's a 70% grant.
Okay.
If we end up using it. I don't think we'll need any of this.
It's principal forgiveness.
But the trouble is, if we don't apply for it now, we will never get it.
Right.
Okay,
So, and this lead and copper, this copper thing, this lead thing's gonna go on for 10 years. But we'll have this $2 million guaranteed that we can borrow with 70% forgiveness, so
great.
no matter, so that should cover no matter what we need,
Right.
so.
We thought we'd only need $1 million, but
I don't
As
think
we got
we may not.
we may
don't know.
not, so we just wanna secure it while the funds are still there.
And it's, side note with that, before I forget, it's just gonna go through governor's council before the lead guy will show up, and that will be very soon,
That makes sense.
this month, I think, so.
They have a meeting tomorrow.
And I think it's on that docket.
It's on that docket. Okay, if not, it will be February 11th.
Well, they're trying to track it down right now because the original, I scanned in and
Yep.
I had to send the verification of the minutes or whatever, and then you have to mail the original.
Hmm.
They haven't gotten my original yet, so I
Oh.
mailed another one Friday,
Yeah,
but it's a time window, so she's trying to get them to accept the scan because she knows I did it.
yeah.
So,
So that's the $30,000
worst case,
to
it's
map out the
February
lead. So,
Yeah.
That's a total grant,
Great.
not to get off track.
No.
I forget by the time we get to the end.
And the grants. Open ended, like as far as like there's no
Yes.
time frame on it, it's,
no, we just have to secure our.
we have to secure it and that's it. So if it takes us 10 years or 15 years to complete, the loan is open that
I
one.
think it's 2037 we have to be completed by,
Okay,
For the loans,
for the the whole,
the whole
the
process.
whole
right?
process has to be.
okay. Fair enough.
We've got a long time to do it, but
Yeah,
we gotta-
well, you never know,
Gotta keep
though. 10
going.
years goes by
we
quick.
gotta go quick.
Sure
Let's try and
does.
keep moving.
Right, all right, so Article 3, the operating budget. The town will vote to raise and appropriate the budget committee recommended sum of $5,822,848.
That's the proposed rate now.
What's that, that's what
Proposed,
proposed,
that's what they're voting on tomorrow night.
right? Okay.
Okay, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep. Water, Article 4 for the Water Department restricted fund balance to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $250,000 to be placed in the existing Water Department Capital Reserve Fund by authorizing the withdrawal of $250,000 from the Water Department restricted fund balance as of December 31st, 2025.
That's money
Okay.
we already have.
Right, that's, yeah,
And that will cover the cost increase For the lower.
Yeah, the lower.
For the lower Woodstock.
Yeah,
They're estimating that it's gonna come in $300,000
Wow.
higher than we thought.
Oh,
who knows? See,
right,
but that we were covered.
that's good. Article 5 is the community center, that's a capital reserve, appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be placed on the existing capital, community center capital reserve fund. Okay. I'll have to refresh myself on the projects. I just had it the other day of what we were
Yeah, we
doing with
just
that
talked
money.
about
We
it
just
too.
talked about it and it's slipped to my mind. Oh, paving. Paving
Yes.
was a big thing.
There's one other small thing, but
And
paving
there's-
was the
yeah,
big one.
Paving was the bigger of the projects. And this is money that we used to have in the operating budget, but because it didn't always get spent by year end and we were having to encumber it all the time,
Mhm.
we just decided, you know what, it makes more sense to put it in the capital reserve
Yes.
and hold it. And then if we don't spend it all, it's building in the capital reserve for future projects as well.
Makes sense.
So. Okay, reval. This is.
No brainer.
Yep, the capital reserve we always do. To raise and appropriate the sum of 30,000 to be placed in the existing revaluation capital reserve fund. Paving. Vote and raise, and these were all, we saw all of these in the
Yep.
budget.
These are all based off your voted, what you
Yeah.
voted on.
So we get 75,000 there. Highway block grant. To raise and appropriate the sum of
That's it.
$33,491. I'm just reading them so that I'm checking them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I send them to Mr. Waterhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, Senator.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
Absolutely.
Once I get the
You'll
final
always can do
draft,
something.
Right.
I send them off.
Article 9 would be the town building maintenance capital reserve.
That one's, we're changing the wording up,
Okay,
remember, because
yep.
We had
building
it-
Maintenance.
set as we had established it as town building maintenance with the thought when it was, the intent was when it was established to be able to use it for maintenance, and then if you needed engineering or feasibility
Mhm.
studies, architectural. And Scott and I found out that we cannot use it for anything like that. It can only be strictly maintenance. So she suggested taking the word maintenance off so that you can use it for
Other,
other
Other
things, because we have
things.
that money sitting in there that we thought we could use, but we can't.
okay, for like upgrades or.
Right, like
yeah.
if you wanted to do
Engineering.
a space study here, because
Yeah.
stuff like that, we can't use it right now because
It's, okay,
Yes, I mean,
it's just for maintenance.
you're going to build a shed off the building, you can't use it. I mean, you know,
So she
Okay.
has changed the wording to just town buildings.
okay. Makes sense. Article 10 is the fire department equipment, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $85,000 to be placed in the existing fire department equipment capital reserve. Fire truck. Appropriate the sum of $75,000, okay? Article 12, the library computer equipment expendable, appropriate 2,000. Article 13, Main Street revitalization, raise and appropriate sum of 5,000. These are all standard capital reserves. Hello. Do we wanna finish going through this, or do we want to?
it's almost done.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we're almost done, we'll buzz right through it. Article 14, solid waste facility improvement, very similar to the community center, we. Instead of having the 10,000 on operating, we put it in a capital reserve, so if we don't spend it annually. We still have it and don't need to encumber it. Article 15, highway maintenance. Appropriate the sum of 95,000. Article 16, highway heavy duty equipment, sum of 75,000, okay. Article 17, the sewer department, which is just. Sewer users that are responsible for that. The town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to be placed in the existing sewer department capital reserve. Same with water, Article 18, this is just for water users, but the whole town votes. To see if the town will vote and raise and appropriate the sum of $170,000 to be placed in the existing water department capital reserve. Article 18 is missing. Nope, Article 18 just continued to the other side.
Yeah,
You gotta fix, yeah.
I don't have much wiggle room, it comes out as it is, I
Yeah.
can't even edit the PDF. I have to go through, it comes out the portal. I know.
170,000.
Sometimes when it gets to the town report, she
Yeah.
can,
Yeah,
try
Okay.
to, when she
a little
downsizes
cut
it.
and paste a little bit. Article 19, record preservation, appropriate the sum of $10,000. Article 20, police department equipment, to see if the town will vote and raise and appropriate the sum of 28,000 to be placed in the existing police department equipment capital reserve. Article 21 is cemetery maintenance, raise and appropriate the sum of 5,000. Article 22, emergency management, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,000. 23, Article 23, to see if the town will vote and raise appropriate sum of $2,000 for computer software, capital reserve fund.
Mhm.
Article 24 is to establish vehicle maintenance capital reserve, so this is new. See if the town will vote to establish a vehicle maintenance capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 31:1 for the purpose of funding major vehicle repairs or future vehicle replacement costs, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000.
So you do it either way, is it either?
And that could be used across
Flexible.
all departments.
It's for all departments and municipalities are starting to establish this because. A prime example was a cruiser that burned up on the side of the highway or, it caught on fire, and when they went to replace it, insurance didn't cover the full value and they were stuck trying to scramble to come up with that value. So this would assist in that type of.
Makes sense. Article 25 is to modify the elderly exemption. So, this is what we discussed last meeting.
Yeah.
So, the town shall modify the provisions of RSA 72:39-A for elderly exemption from property tax in the town of Woodstock based on assessed value for qualified taxpayers to be as follows. For a person 65 years of age, up to 75 years of age, $60,000. For a person 75 years of age, up to 80 years, 80,000. And for a person 80 years of age or older, 100,000. To qualify, the person must have been a New Hampshire resident for at least 3 consecutive years, own the real estate individually or jointly, or if the real estate is owned by such person's spouse, they must have been married to each other for at least 5 consecutive years. Okay. In addition, the taxpayer must have a net income of not more than 35,000, or if married, a combined net income of less than 45,000, and own net assets not in excess of 75,000, excluding the value of the person's residence. The select board recommends this article. Okay.
I can't imagine there's a lot of them.
Good. No, that reads good. Article 6 is the appointment of the fire chief, to see if the town will vote to change the position of fire chief from an elected position to an appointed position in accordance with RSA 154:1, and to further to authorize the select board to appoint the fire chief. If this warrant article passes, the current elected fire chief will continue to hold office until March 9th, 2027, at which point the fire chief will be appointed. The select board recommends this article. Okay. And then Article 27,
That's-
access kiosk or.
That's hit or miss. We're waiting on legal to rule if this can just be an ordinance through the
Okay.
select board. Or if it needs to be a warrant article.
And this is a fire department and police department request, basically.
Right,
It makes sense,
So they're
because
not
right
having-
now they've got 50 keys.
right, they're running around with, and their keys
And
are,
half the keys are no good, and nobody has supervision over the keys, I mean, it's not good.
So basically what this ordinance would be is a business who would like for the fire department or police department to have.
No,
keys
they
to
have
enter.
to,
they're
They
gonna
have
have
to,
They have-
okay. So
And then,
business
like you and
has
I
to
could be
provide,
optional.
right, so a business would have to provide keys to their buildings.
they have to hire this box,
To have this box,
which means the fire department only needs one key to get into all these buildings,
all these boxes.
all these boxes.
Okay,
Right,
got you.
So Matt put this together,
Okay,
And because right now they got a key to mine, they gotta give you, I mean.
oh, they gotta keep in
it's
mind,
stupid.
oh, yeah,
It's stupid.
the pin code, everything,
yeah, so,
Fine.
yeah,
yeah,
so,
so this will be required for businesses, but optional for residents.
yes, if somebody wanted to, yep. So it's with legal right now because we are not sure, we don't believe it needs to be a warrant article.
Okay, Then it can just be
But it's
adopted.
just here just so we don't forget it, just in case.
Okay.
If not, it will come back with,
We'll know by tomorrow, right? Probably.
we should, yeah, we should, with your other ordinances. Perfect, so you'll be able to do them in your
Oh, with the junkyard and short term.
junkyard short term, and then I have two more from the police department.
Open.
Open
What's that?
container
Oh,
and, one, it's camping and campfires, but Laura has pulled the camping off. Because
Okay.
right now, the municipalities that have that are getting some pushback because of homeless people.
mm,
So she's cautioning us to leave the camping off and just take the campfire one. So she's working on those and you'll have them all together.
okay,
So that may be one of
for
them.
next week, right? Cause tomorrow's budget committee and
She's-
MS 37.
Yes,
And
she's
then-
gonna try, but right now your ordinances might have to wait until she gets everybody set for a town meeting.
Okay,
Because
That- yeah,
they're in
that
a
makes
push.
sense. I mean,
Um,
she'll determine which ones can be just ordinances that.
Yes, she'll determine and then
The other
once
ones
it
are-
go to selectmen, we'll wait
Well, the
until.
short term, the junk out, that can be ordinances. It's this one we don't know about.
Okay.
All the others are definitely ordinances through you guys, except this is the only one I don't know.
Alrighty. Welcome, Charles.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Are we good? Have I missed anything? Have I got
Looks
anything that you guys
It
wanted?
looks, no, it looks good to me. I didn't see any glaring, like.
So you're,
Send it to Bill.
well, I will, once I get the approvals, I'm gonna send it, but,
Yeah,
so if I can just have, contingent on the
yeah,
key box
I
to move it on.
make a motion to accept the draft warrant.
And unless there's changes.
2026, yeah, warrant, and,
Like this second.
right, all those in favor?
We'll approve it at the next one.
No, you don't come back. This is your approval. You're
Okay,
approving the draft. It's now going, it's DRA bound and
But
other than this, not spot.
yeah, we can make little tweaks if Bill finds in this.
No, Bill, yeah, right, we'll be able to, once he gets
Fix
into the
typos.
spelling, once I get your approval, their approval. It goes Department of Revenue hits that switch, and then we can. Then I send it to him,
Okay.
because sometimes
thank you,
they,
Bill.
sometimes they change stuff, Laura changes stuff, so I just wait until I have the
Yeah.
draft.
Sure.
No, that makes sense, great. Good, I'll start with that,
I'm good.
great. So we have Charles DeCurtis
Yes.
here from the Nature Conservancy of New Hampshire to chat with us about Parker Dam.
Yes,
Welcome.
just right here, okay?
You
Sure.
Come on up,
Wherever
sit with
you
us.
want, you can sit up here, you can come up
I'll
front.
tell you, after driving, you should stand up and walk around. I'm from Georgia and this weather is,
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
jeez.
I've been here 8 years, I'm still not used to it. Plus I was in sort of a. So I came to talk to you about the Parker Dam. If you'd be interested, and no cost to the town or anyone, we would do a recon study, which is in front of you, and it tells you what it entails and what it provides. And, looking at the dam, I know from a historical point of view, you want to save parts of it, and that recon would identify, like the powerhouse, the old powerhouse and the old gear.
Sure.
Mhm.
Leave all that and maybe put a historical marker up about it, something like that. But what the recon study does, it evaluates the dam structure and what a removal or putting in a fish passage would be, and the area that it would connect would be about 450 miles total because of the breach dams and other dams that have been out, down to the hydropower dams near the confluence with the Merrimack. And so it's quite a bit of miles.
Sure.
So TNC has a program that we started a couple of years ago. It's called the Free Rivers Accelerator. And for example, this project that I just gave you the contents was, so you can see what is provided in these studies. we're working with the owner who has a high hazard dam and does not have the funding to remove that dam. So we're working with the Department of Transportation, DES, and we created this report, or had consultants create the report. And now we have an idea of what it would cost, and then we help go find funders to help him with that removal. And so I was looking at, I'm the freshwater program manager and the lead scientist for TNC in New Hampshire, and I work across the New England area. And I ran across Parker Dam, so I went to DES folks, Bill Thomas, and he and I had a conversation. And then I went to the Fish and Game folks, and we looked at the biology within this area, and also looked at opportunities for recreation and how it might or might not improve those opportunities. And the Parker Dam rose to the top 10 for the system. And anyway, so I'm coming to you to ask if you would be interested in the study being completed. Again, it would be no cost to you in any way. The only thing we would need is permission for the consultants to actually go on the dam and do their assessment.
Now, a few years ago, the state came out and said they were gonna get rid of it. I mean, they,
I wasn't part of that
no, they
conversation.
basically
They
said,
did.
and we were basically okay with it, and,
Sure.
there was a few people that gonna miss a swimming hole or whatever, but, not that they don't count, but I mean.
Oh, no, of course.
But I mean, I think we were okay with it, so I don't see.
Wasn't it Trout Unlimited, this New Hampshire DES? There was a whole group of people here that were.
Yeah, we went out with them, we toured the dam and explained
Yeah, I'll
how.
touch the Army Corps of Engineers and go through all.
And did they just never follow up?
No, it was
Never heard
supposed to
nothing
happen.
back.
And then
Well, you know what it was, they don't have the funding,
That's true.
so I think they don't have the funding, so it's on the list, but it's somewhere on the list. So
Well-
I wouldn't see any harm in you going through this exercise.
So what we could do is, it would one, identify for the people that we fund and funders that we work with, private funding and corporations that are interested in, basically in protecting our water resources. And it helps them, from a tax perspective, for them to donate money for these types of things. We not be working with the state other than the permitting and what was needed,
I think we actually own the dam.
We just-
No, so yeah, so.
So unfortunately, we own the dam, we don't have the money to do it.
Exactly,
So-
so my role would be first to get this completed.
Yeah.
And we would have this completed by July, probably by June.
Oh, wow.
And then that gives us, and if you look in this schedule, there's an OPC component at the bottom, conceptual project OPC.
Mhm.
So, for those who know, OPC is opinion of probable cost. And then I can take that to a funder, if y'all are still interested at that point. We preserve what part of the dam, for historical purposes
Yeah.
and take that to a funder and say, look, this is what it's going to do if we help with the removal, we do this. So, but we can't really go to a funder and say, I need $500,000.
I don't know what it's gonna cost.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I have to have solid numbers. They almost always won't know, well, you can't give us something you pick out of the sky. So anyway, if you're interested, I'll have that study, I'll get this contract out probably within the next few weeks and get the study on the ground.
Yeah, because our contract, we'll have to send it off, of course, to our legal and our insurance company. They review the contract and then.
Yeah, and I'll actually put together a contract between myself and the consultant, and then I'll send it to you for okay.
Mhm.
Because really, it's not gonna be anything but a desktop study, and they'll go out and take measurements. They'll probably measure the sediment profile upstream and downstream, and that's it.
Okay.
That's basically the extent of what they do for these types of studies. And based on removals that have happened in the state previous to now, they have a really good idea of what the cost is.
Is there anywhere locally, like close by, that they have done?
Done dam?
Yeah.
I worked on a dam with Fish and Wildlife and American Rivers in the Gill system up near Littleton,
Oh,
The
okay.
Gal River?
on the Gill River. It's on the south branch of that river. We're now working, I'm part of the site selection committee for the state's ARM program, the Aquatic Resource Mitigation Program that the Army Corps,
Mhm.
in Lucy program. And so we're looking at the north side now and funding that project. And actually, this project itself would probably come under ARM as well, and there will be funding available through ARM, in the future for this. So yeah, no, the actual I think the biggest thing for us is having permission from the owners, which is y'all.
Well, I think, then I can make a motion to give them permission as long as it passes, the contract passes the legal.
Yes.
Insurance.
And insurance.
Oh, sure. And that's the other thing, we do require the consulting firm to be indemnified. They have to have,
Yeah, so
I
it's
think it's
gonna go there.
$1 they carry.
Yeah,
And so if there's somebody falls off the dam while they're doing measurements, they're
right,
covered.
we would.
So
require-
Y'all are not.
Yeah.
So,
That was gonna be my next thing.
Yeah, no.
so I make a motion as long as he has all those things.
Yep.
You can go ahead.
All right, I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Aye.
Right.
Sweet.
And I'll get back to y'all with more information and I'll put together a contract and we'll get them started.
Sounds
Great,
good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming forward, and bringing that forward.
Thank you.
Where was the accident?
I was on our actual road we sort of live on the side of a mountain between Bradford Sutton and Newbury. And
Yeah, it's a ways.
I'm sorry?
It's a
You're
ways.
ways.
Yeah, it took me a while to get here because of the roads. I came around the corner and there was a car sideways in the road, so of course, what did I do? I hit my brakes and I did like a 2-3-60. And truck pulled me out though, I was fine. But the other guy's car was really screwed up. It hit a tree and it fell. It's totaled.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
well, was he okay?
Anyway,
Were they okay?
yeah, they were shaken up.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, they were okay. So it's, yeah, typical this time of year when you're not paying attention or like me and you're not used to driving on ice. I know I'm creeping, and that's part of why I was late.
That's,
So,
It's okay. I got your message. I passed it along.
thank you.
yep, thank you.
Do you have a question?
Yes. Do projects like that, do you have to do any archaeological?
Oh, yes.
I don't mean to throw a curveball, but in 1972, I was living on the other side of the river, and I was probably within less than 100 feet of the river, and I have a beautiful white point.
Oh,
So
but they do. They
They
do
do.
a historical and an archaeological survey. And if there's something found of significance, they then do a full study and do whatever mitigation they have to make sure they don't lose anything else. So, but yes, that's part of all these projects that require that.
it is
State,
required.
the state, SHPO, the state historical preservation, they require all of that. So, yeah. We actually usually have damage more done by people who are seeking artifacts for their home collections. So we go to the side. We dug up a whole small village worth of stuff, so. But yeah, we work with the state, make sure we're on all that stuff.
Interesting.
Great, yeah. Good. Any other questions? No, then we'll let you.
Well,
Thank
drive her.
Thank you
Drive
very
safe.
much.
Yes, thank you. Y'all have a
Yeah.
great evening.
We should have done a Zoom with you.
Right, I
Oh,
didn't
no.
realize you were coming from that far.
It gets, I work out of my office, out of my house most of the time, so getting out is just with the storm, bad timing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Y'all have a good one.
You too, take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought there was a point.
The reason I mention that is I do a lot of wandering and going up on the power lines, and that I bumped into two sets of pre-survey people, just that are contracted by whoever owns the power lines.
Source,
Huh.
must be a source.
Yeah,
And I bumped into one up beyond the Gordon Pond bridge up there, going up that hill. And my first encounter with them, they were pushing me off. But then on the way down, they were lost. And we helped get them, the dog and I helped get them back to the car, and they were very open. They say, we're up here often. And I know they went up the south side, and I believe they found some artifacts up there.
Oh,
That's the only, I'm not looking to stop anything,
mhm,
Yeah.
but the point
Like
that I
on-
found
Just here, that's a good question. I wouldn't have.
yeah.
is just, the point I found is just beautiful. It's wonderful.
The point,
An arrowhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
They call them points.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow,
Neat.
that's neat.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
There's you and Louis playing, that wouldn't.
Yeah, it was-
Oh, lordy. All right,
Okay,
on
what's
that,
the next
we're gonna
agenda?
move on to the MS 37. All right, so we have a draft of that.
Yep, and this will remain in draft form. These are your numbers. They, your bottom line definitely won't change at all.
Mhm.
Just a matter of Department of Revenue doing their little tweaks, but
Yep.
this will be what's voted on tomorrow night, and of course, they have to vote on draft because I cannot, until the vote happens,
Yeah,
lock
so
it
that-
in.
yeah,
Right.
So, but this is what it is. So if you guys wanna shoot me questions,
we've already gone over it.
Right.
It looks like it's going up, but by the time the state fiddled with it, that's the only reason.
yes, and our,
We figured out the town portion was really only going up $38,000 for the year. But the way the state does, it, you have to add in the loans and then take out the loans and the payments for the loans.
and these numbers back here also reflect water and sewer because they're transferring out.
Right,
Within
they
the
come
budget.
in And then they come back.
So
out,
it's
right.
grouped in until, so it's. If you have water,
They're under the
Self-contained.
operating transfers out,
right,
right.
so it gets a little, it's very misleading for when it's,
Mhm.
when we're set up like we are, when you have self-sustaining funds, because a lot of people. And I wouldn't either if I wasn't working here, you know, understand what intermunicipal transfer in, transfer outs we're doing.
Mhm.
So even if you said, that, even if you looked at it without all of that, it shows 358,603 increase, which is about 10%, which is what's happening across everything, anywhere, everywhere. But that does factor in everything, your notes, your bonds, your water, your sewer, your, but we are also returning, what I will say is we're returning a total between all funds, 3.385. Again, that includes what we appropriated for bonds and notes, but, on which we're relating to water. On the tax side of it, we're returning 1.16, which will be used, to offset some of that too. So last year, if we're looking at, I know people are usually looking at the tax impact, what it's gonna do to your property taxes. So last year, when I pull all of that out, the amount to be raised from taxes was 5,150,592. We're returning 1,160,646.33, which is 22.5, just over 22.5%. And requesting to appropriate 5,249,539. And that's all before estimated revenues, which was 1.92%, a 98,947 increase. Last year, our actual revenue to come in to offset that amount for just property taxes, this doesn't have anything to do with water and sewer, was 1,401,789. I'm estimating 1,461,894 to come in to offset this year's for the general fund. Ultimately leaving you with a 38,842 increase that would impact taxes. It just gets a little funky in here.
About 7 cents.
It's about 7 cents.
If you just looked at it, you know, the average person looking at this, not knowing like the behind the scenes, they would think when they looked at it, it would be a 61, it's gone up 10%. Just over, and it's a 61 cent increase. And if they look at that on a $400,000 house, that's $244 a year, so $122 a quarter. But realistically, it's not, because that's with water and sewer,
That's with water. and
that's
sewer.
with everything in there, so
That's
that's
with
why I was trying to break it out
So
to.
when you take out the water and sewer, it's 38, it's 8 cents.
Yep, and your heavy hitters, just to be, so on the, these are unaudited numbers, just to be clear. Returning to the general fund, 1,166,4633. Returning to the sewer fund, 144,740.97. Returning to the water fund, I'm taking out the bonds, right, because they don't pay 79,984.35. So, and then the heavy hitters for our increases are 2 additional positions, 1 part-time to full-time, benefits for those positions, benefit increase of 10.2%, property and liability increase of 10.37%, debt services for 2 new fire trucks, the increase to contracted services and maintenance contracts and supplies, we're seeing roughly 8 to 10% increase across the board. Although the police department shows an increase of 83,946, it's actually only increasing 25,467 because they have secured, it's secured a grant in the amount of 58,479. Fire is up 35,000, highway is up 48,000 due to school material, and we're utilizing part-time help. Because, yeah, we need to utilize, solid waste is up 21,878. And then it's like stuff like fireworks, that the tariffs and stuff that we don't know, and we had to increase our contingency and outlay funds, we had to double them this year because it's a reval year and we don't know what to anticipate for abatements. And our capital reserves increased overall, 43,685, 25,000 of that is sewer. So those are your heavy hitters, and then, a lot of us are returning, a substantial amount of our
Yeah.
budgets. I tried to highlight a few of the major ones, either because the contractors didn't show, or equipment didn't get delivered, or in my case, Cheryl extended her retirement, so there was just different.
Oh, the
dynamics.
playground will never be built. No.
Yeah, right, and on our benefit side of that, we returned, it's important to recognize that I have to budget for family plans regardless of what the individual is, because any life-changing event allows them to change their plan. So typically, like this, I'm returning $243,000 in that budget. So,
Keep it up.
but we have to.
Which
plan
in
for it.
theory could
Could
be
be
the
set.
same each year.
Right,
Could be the same,
Right.
could go up, could be
I mean,
half.
clearly, if I know that,
Yeah, you kind of have a sense.
sense of what it's gonna be, then I, of course, budget for that, but if I don't, then
You have to expect the worst.
right.
Great.
So any questions? I tried to hit on,
No, I think you covered it really well. Thank you.
We've beaten us to death over the last couple of months.
Right. So you need a vote for us to,
Except the.
accept the MS 7, so I'll make a motion to accept the MS 737 and the estimated amount of taxes to be raised to be $3,787,645. Make that the draft MS 737.
I'll second that.
Alright, all those in favor?
and to be clear, you guys won't see this again unless there's a change.
Right.
Okay, that's okay.
Yep.
Unless something happens,
Yeah,
then
we'll
we'll,
only look at it from what,
I mean, $3 million to run the whole town is. it
Right.
seems like a lot.
you finished, we're doing pretty good.
I'm sorry, Kathy says you didn't finish the vote.
All those in favor?
Good call.
Good call.
Aye.
Um, Wow,
We can say the words. So good as that. Okay.
I think I touched on everything there.
Yeah. You said the ordinances are still with Laura and we'll see those after March, so that's fine.
She's thinking, or, you know, you might see them before March, it's just she has to make sure everybody's ready for town meeting and
Yep.
meeting the deadlines, and then she'll circle back. She did say that the short-term rental ordinance, she just had a couple tweaks, it looked fine,
Good.
other than that.
And the junkyard one, she said she was.
The junkyard one, she's fine with,
The only thing with that though is we need to watch how those building code
yes,
bills. What happens with those in the house as far as adding that language? There's a couple of them, I'll send them to you, there's a couple that are.
there's so much going on right
Yeah.
now. Down there,
There was a bill that was heard today, side note, bill that was heard today to charge people that own a bike $50.
I just got,
Okay.
how about
I just
the,
got to know from a friend of mine on a ski group, they got
This is- you
voted
got
down
voted-
today.
Oh, it did?
They voted
Good.
Down today.
what about the
They
eggs?
killed it.
What is?
People that have their chickens and have eggs,
Chickens got eggs.
Which came,
they wanna tax them and
Oh my gosh.
it's
Oh, the
crazy.
guy-
I could see taxing or
Chickens.
charging for like the battery powered bikes that do like 50-60 miles.
Yeah,
an
that-
hour.
yeah, me too.
Those are, there's one kid that comes down, even during a snowstorm, all dressed in black, no
Oh, yeah.
lights.
Oh,
flying down
goodness,
through here. I
No,
almost
Mike,
know
if you-
it coming out of here one night.
Like, if you get to the city, like in Boston, or it's mayhem.
Oh, yeah. I could
well,
see
we're not-
building them something.
No, I'm just saying, give
no, I'm
me,
just saying, but you know,
Like,
like,
yeah, they have
not,
to come in and register.
not in
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
no, it's
Well,
not.
maybe
Okay.
Manchester and Salem.
Well, the little, my guys, they all
Go for it.
buy the little,
The scooters.
scooters. Those things go 20 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and they've got no helmets on, they're, but,
What's up?
what's that?
This is your public hearing notices, so
I read that thing.
you,
It's
we
not
do,
loaded here.
oh, it's not?
No,
Oh, I thought I did, sorry.
Is it so?
that's okay.
The 4th and the 11th,
Okay. 5:30, right?
yep,
Is that joint or is it,
the joint,
you just wants
Yeah.
to be here?
yep, no joint, cause you're gonna have your warrant and they'll, we hold them together.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. And then people only have to come out once.
Right. Great. Public participation on any of the agenda items, any questions on the warrant article? Or the 737?
Matt just called me and said they think they got all the hydrants that I blew out today. All shoveled out.
Oh,
Excellent.
thank you,
Thank you to
There's
the
some
Stock
fire
Fire
tomorrow.
Department for helping out. You guys are
they've
great.
been awesome helping this year,
Thank you.
we know he's been down, on it, all of them.
Well,
Motion to adjourn.
if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn at 5:45. I will second Scott Rice's motion.
But, I mean,
All those in favor? Aye.
so probably after
Thanks.